the PGC here for 2021. Let's get to it. It's game 12 of this weekend. It's Sims, it's Pansy, bringing you the big match feel.
It is the last chance to dance for most of these teams, and there is a whole lot on the line. Now, as said, my brain is too tiny to work out all of the factors that could change a couple of these bits and pieces, so I'm going to focus on the game in front of me and leave it to the boys with the brains after the game. But there's a couple of names that have been missing those chicken dinners. Na'Vi is one of them for sure. Heroic. Surely there has to be a game for them to actually convert this, Rich, because it's been eluding them the entire time. We're going back into this, and as said, yes, we've had a couple now convert into double chicken dinners that have been fighting incredibly hard. Question Mark is a name that I can't get over. They've arrived and really delivered here, but again, this could be anyone's game.
110%. When we're looking towards QM and FaZe at the moment, they're the top spot. They're the people to be beating. Everyone else, BBL, Galacticos, ENCE, VP. All these names on the board that have one win under their belts, they need to tie it up with 2. But they also need to be there with the frags. Wait a minute, VP. We're not even just over a minute into the game. Lou's already dead. We've still got a different fight in a different position altogether. What in the world is going on? Heroic have just sent it straight to the middle and causing all kinds of grief here. DA damage. VP's lost a player. Okay, Circle comes in. There's only a couple of teams there. We have plenty of land. Galacticos have a good position to try and make something happen. You heard it on the desk. So they've gone up towards the satellite dish. That's totally fine. We can work with that. It's not exactly a bad position whatsoever when you look at it. It's not quite centered, but it's certainly not far off by any means. VP playing with 3, have to keep continuing up. It comes down to BatulinS to try and hold the line on the top. Goes for the wiggle, gets the headshot.
Oh.
He's not knocked just yet, but Spyro comes in to finish the deal.
Bloomin' hell, VP. Now, I do want to highlight something though. BBL and Galacticos are actually in quite good positions here. And they're currently sat in 3rd and 4th. Technically. Look at Quizzy right next towards Fate.
Spotted instantly. Quizzy leans in for it, but oh my word, Fate's there to respond in kind. That is a sick shot. 25 HP and the overpeak comes through. That's exactly what he needed, but look at the damage that's been done to Aduzi. A response is their example. Hands one back off and Alia goes for faultlessly. Just in the distance, cresting the ridgeline. The panic stations kind of shows you this is what it means to these players to be able to keep people on the toes. They're not looking for the fight here. They're looking for the res. But his teammate's fallen if he finds him just around the corner. This is going to spell disaster for QM. He's going to have to faultlessly steps up again. He is doing the dirty and holding back Na'Vi.
That is easier said than done sort of situation, and Alia has to bow down to this and accept that Question Mark are bringing the A game as best they can. They will be getting the res, I believe. They should be back up to 4. It's just their next step is not going to be an easy one, but at least we'll be into the circle better than at least how Na'Vi is left. Not looking likely to get that first dinner under the belt this time around. Middle of the open, Jeems just popping shots off, playing the Potter Tower. And, well, he could live somewhere in this ground, I guess. Just try and hit the deck and stay somewhere near the...
SMB, Rip9, Huth, and Lazar trying to just weed out Uri in the building side. Dante caught in the open field. That's not good. QM going for a full-blown run up against it. Out of the vehicle, down we go, but vehicle will tag him up. Easy trade-off there for Mexi in the distance, and Fate has arrived, but sadly, it is not looking too good for QM whatsoever. One player left standing. Tokyo Manji out in the field. There's open water at the moment. It's shooting day. Faultlessly just like, no, this is it. Bow down. Number 1 spot goes out in 15th.
Okay, I guess the gateway is now open, but the jump up would be unreal. FaZe would have to get the win, basically, to do it, because the kills ain't going to be enough. So, at this point, though, we look beyond that. There's plenty more on the line for some of these teams trying to fight for their way forward in other ways. And, oh, another team goes into the blender. Mexi is just farming right now. More bodies added to the pile. Ooh, overextending there a little, Mexi. Careful now. Head down. There it is. Try and work off the more attention being drawn elsewhere. Jeems sprays in wildly. Does get what he wants. There's still one alive. There we go. Tokyo now gone as well, down in 14th. This is where everything has just busted open. Thunderlost actually got a little bit of a glimpse of this, and Fuzzface ain't far away now. So it's going to be Galacticos, Liquid, and FaZe all together. That's Lyron doing great work towards Mexi. Galacticos trying to work their way up here. Jeems in the vehicle, going to get out of dodge. Try and play to them for another day. Not going to be allowed. Found by 8C. Put to bed. And now FaZe and Galacticos, you're going to battle it out here.
I feel like they've committed to this. There's nowhere else they can go, oh, hold on, wait a minute. Heroic? What in the world just happened? This is a full-blown breach from Gear Up. They're pushing in and they're getting killed left, right, and center. Hall of Games also there. SMB is wandering directly this way. This is a bit of a mad scramble up to the radar dish. This is pure and utter carnage. Do not forget about that. Thank you, observers. Do not forget about this fight. This is a big one. Galacticos kind of committed to the cause on this third party, and with the circle shift, really there's no easy way out of it for either of these teams. A retreat, I mean, in my opinion, doesn't feel viable. You have to fight this one out. Aitzi will spot 2 on his left-hand side, goes for the first. Gets the damage done, has to hit the deck. Honor's there to hold him. Dead to rights. Gustav on with the second. A much deeper angle as well. Aitzi still keeps going, goes for a lean, but Honor's there to respond in kind. His teammates are falling all around him, and now they're trying to collapse the last stand. Thunderlost, how many can you take with you, though?
None. 0. FaZe will keep 4 alive. No one close enough to pressure them anymore. They get the entryway from the southern side, and now we look towards the north, unresolved and somewhat unrelenting. The code on the screen, if you're just listening in now, grab it while it's there. And BBL, though, aren't going unnoted. VARTS actually found one of them. I don't see a flush coming in just yet, as DA have their own problems, considering they're just getting that res back up. You can see that very low HP there. So that's going to be dealt with. That's Gemty waiting to get that heal going on. But this is going to get so busy in that northwest Hall of Game gear up, as we've seen Heroic sharing that one out over towards the swamp side of things, which is the exit. SMB have Veneer off towards the kind of main road side if they swung up, which I doubt they're going to do, or they run through this. SMB going to be looking towards Hall of Game, but it's actually Veneer to be looking right back towards the moment with the spray. There it is. Finds Rip 9 and puts down SMB's chances here. And this is just, I've got to say, if FaZe can keep their heads down, this isn't paying off too badly for them right now. This could work out well.
Wants to get involved here, and honestly, I don't see why not. Committed all the utility, so it should be a bit of a free-for-all inside. It's going to be messy no matter which way we cut it. The Blues already here. Veneer's watching all of this. DA have spread out and set up the gun turrets, ready to receive. He just comes out on fire. That's 2 of them lined up for Corexi, and now he needs to keep going. Gear up, down. T-Bone, Corexi go off. Morme still alive and kicking, so they have to be careful. But you can see from Corexi's health how much damage the Blues doing. Heroic eliminated. Xiong to put the final nail in the coffin and deliver their fate. Pixel has spotted FaZe Clan. They have room to move here, but the further you go into the circle and the deeper, the more open and exposed it can get. That's a field. That is a field that we are going to. That is a death sentence right now for all of these teams.
It may not be the funky circle that the desk were hoping for, but it's certainly going to prove a lot of problems here. And a lot of these teams have already been in fights, so they've already cycled through a fair amount of their smokes. I don't think anyone's coming out completely unscathed here. Maybe Ent's a little quieter than others, but still. When he's found, Hall of Game go down. DA keep 4 alive and continue to build. Not quite in the position to push FaZe. They're only on 31 kills and obviously only 1 win. But now Virtus Pro, what's left? 3 over towards the north, but it's that next step, Rich. We've said it. This is a little bit of terrain in play, I'll say that much, but it ain't a great deal, and with Ents already taking a large portion of that southeastern side, I don't know where the rest of the teams go. They're funneled in, they're forced into pretty dire spots. Good spray and good connection, though, coming out from Spyro there, the support of BatulinS. As Veneer trying to make any option, any feasible choice that could keep them alive for a second longer, but you can see Spyro and the boys out trying to work against them.
They've got to keep
Bloody
going.
hell,
With shots
Gustav.
like that, it's going to pay absolute dividends. Just hiding behind a mere hay bale. It's going to be nothing for Aitzi. He keeps going onto this phase. They're absolutely feeling it, and they've got room to do so. Good old nade onto Flamey and Yellow will go down. BatulinS and Spyro get the job done to the side of Veneer. Comes down
4
to York.
HP.
4 HP, and really nothing he can do about this, even if the grenade just tickles him. It would spell disaster. Speaking of disaster,
BBL?
Smash, Metralius. The vehicle's gone up in a ball of flames, and Mert falls victim as well. FaZe Clan, 5 kills come through. BBL go down.
Okay, FaZe is still in this. They could still slot themselves into first. We said they were in actually quite a good position coming in from the south. The next move is the tough one, but they're trying to outlive the others. DA still have 4 alive and plenty of boxes to refill the goodies. I think VP can still see a little bit because of the high ground, but not much, and VP have to move themselves. So FaZe might have found somewhere, which is more than the rest can say. Let's see what VP have in store. A couple of deep smokes coming out, trying to maybe give them a little bit of cover on the move up here. There's that high ground working out for BatulinS. FaZe were really hoping that was not going to come into play, that he'd move himself prior, but he's not. He's sticking around. He's hanging around as long as he can to try and do this amount of pressure. 8C was quite the instigator too. 5 kills already, and BatulinS is staying on foot. Did DA even expect this? All the attention going FaZe's way. 8C will lose his life for it. There come the nades, and here comes the return fire. Vex will not let this go unanswered, and there's the nades, and it's actually on a bit of both. BatulinS down, far down, and now FaZe need to put their heads down.
If DA and VP kick it off, which it appears like they are doing, this just pays off so much. No! Fuzzface down, Jempty spots him and lays him to rest. This is starting to get a little bit sketchy for FaZe. They're in no man's land, and every single team has full eyes on them. Diggery is just hoping they show some sign of life, and they are forced to move yet again. Good nade goes over. Will any of them? Oh, look at the damage. Look at how much damage. DA is just scared to death. BatulinS gets 2 of them. Spyro goes in with a 3rd. Jempty, last man standing. They could probably press this, to be fair, and absolutely demolish them.
If VP clean these kills, they convert it to a win. They can jump. I'm pretty sure they can jump FaZe here pretty comfortably, and they are looking like they want to. FaZe are trying to hold on to this. Oh! Diggery lets off a nuke. It finds target. It finds what it needed. And now we are down to 2. Virtus Pro with 3 alive and 2 for ENCE. Virtus Pro refusing to relent, still bringing the A game at all occasions. But ENCE, the Finns on the other side, both in a fight for this. Look at the amount of kills coming out for ENCE as well. They are both in a battle to try and leap that scoreboard, to put FaZe down, to really take themselves to the best position possible. And he's trying to get any utility he can, anything left over. No more smokes to be had, though. It's all been used, Rich.
There's nothing else they can really do but hit and hope. This will come down to as much individual gun skill as you can muster.
Winner takes second here, Rich. Whoever wins this should take second.
In theory, yeah. Whichever way we're kind of looking at it. And honestly, if for VP to win this would be just a massive, massive show of hand. I mean, the one game that they did win was day number 1. They also lost a player off the back. To win the start of this weekend with 3 players, to also end this weekend with 3 players, would be nothing short of a miracle. ENCE, however, 2 wins in a day. They are looking to answer back from some of the weaker performances. Not poor, but weaker performances and weaker show of hands. If they get this second one, the Finns are well and truly back on top.
Here come the nades. Here comes the first contact. Perfect1ks receives more than he gives. Tixu will claim it. And now the advantage sits with ENCE. But there's the trade out. Spyro unrelenting. No way. Does Spyro find Tixu there? He's just spraying in. He's got 1 molly left. And it's all on Squeaky in a 1v2 against arguably the best team in the world right now. As they have proved time and time again how diligently they can play. Squeaky has to bow. And Virtus Pro, out of absolutely nowhere, stand and deliver.
There is no question on, in any way, shape or form, they are the best team in our region at the moment. This VP roster is something else. They started this weekend with a win. They end this weekend with a win. While the board may not change and it might not decipher who's the winner by that win, they are still just such an unrelenting, disgusting team.